Hi, my name is Robert Hayes. I'd like to thank Pastor Chad Wilt for letting me sit behind his sacred desk. As we talked this week, our professors at school have asked us to talk about Revelations 3 and the 7 churches. And so I've chosen to speak about the church of Laodicea. It says in Revelations 3:15 and 16, Jesus says that I know the works, that you are neither hot nor cold. And so because you are lukewarm and neither hot or cold, I will vomit you out of my mouth. So that the fact that Jesus says he's going to vomit the church out of his mouth shows that there's great distaste. And so I decided to look up some of the synonyms for lukewarm. And some of the synonyms for lukewarm are no enthusiasm or conviction, unemotional, half-heartedness, indecisive, uncertain, uncommitted, unresponsive, indifferent, nonchalant, and lackadaisical. And so we really have to question ourselves and ask ourselves if we fall into any of these categories. And if we are, then we're in danger of being a lukewarm Christian. I had a great conversation with a man last night about being a lukewarm Christian. And some of the scriptures that I brought up to him were 1 Kings 18:21, where it says that you can't straddle the fence, and in Matthew 6:24, where it says that you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and mammon, and mammon represents the world, because you'll either love one and hate the other, and you have to choose one or the other. You can't just serve two masters. So lukewarm Christians, they send confusing messages. They are useless to God, and they do not represent his gospel well, or the things of his kingdom. And so he spews them out of his mouth. He spits them out of his mouth. It's hard to spot a Laodicean, because from the outside you can't see these things in them. They're more conditions of the heart, conditions of the spirit. But Jesus sees these things, and you can't hide them from him. Laodiceans are lackadaisical about pursuing holiness. They don't spend time in fervent prayer. They don't spend time in studying God's word. They just kind of skate through life thinking that everything's good. They don't want to give up the things of the world. They're very materialistic. They're very self-satisfied. There's a lot of worldliness to them. And then their devotion to Christ deteriorates, and their worldliness intensifies. That's what a Laodicean is. So, to them, God is a nice idea. God's a nice addition to their life. They like the idea of God, but they don't want to commit anything to him. They don't want to give up anything to him. But I'm telling you now that your Christianity, your walk with Christ, should cost you everything. You should die to yourself daily. That's what Paul says. I have to die to myself daily. I have to surrender the things of the flesh and of me and my wants and desires daily, in order to become more like Christ and in order to represent his kingdom well. So if you're not willing to give up everything for the gospel or to follow God, then you're in danger of being lukewarm. And Jesus says he'll spew you out of his mouth.